What's up, everybody? Peepo again, and today is actually going to be kind of a fun video. It doesn't really have anything to do with facts or reviews or anything like that. This is actually going to be my weapons rack video. I know I did a gear bag video like about less than a year ago, but I felt it was time to show off. I guess you could say show off, or at least show you guys what is currently in my weapons rack. And this is stuff that I currently will step out onto the field and use, or will throw around with, or coach with. It's not necessarily everything that I possess or own that I can either use or sell, but these are things that I keep in the weapons rack because I'm going to end up using them at some point or other, just for the heck of it, or whatever you can really think of. So to kind of start it all off, we're going to start off with my old faithful, and this one is pretty near and dear to my heart because when I was in high school, I didn't really have much of a privilege of being able to get all the gear that I can now, and it's a little bit more on the sentimental side. I'm probably not going to use this other than coaching, and I do have a spare one of it, but I don't plan on using it until this one breaks. And that is Proton Plus from STX, and this is probably my highest scoring head that I've ever owned. I've scored the most goals, assists, and everything. Did it all with this, not Proton Power or anything like that. It was with a Proton Plus, and I have this strung up with a 6D USA themed classic trad. It is a 3-piece string trad, so very easy to adjust and so on and so forth. And it is on an old, hopefully you can see that, STX Custom Alloy C405. These were very, very popular back when I was in high school and a little bit earlier. They're kind of hard to come by. Sometimes you can find them real special and stuff, but they never really dented or broke like normal shafts. They kind of get this weird crackling essence to them, and it's really weird. But I have two of these also. One's a cut down D-pole, which is the other one that I have over there. That's my favorite because it's a little heavier. But I have the regular attack version, and then I also have a cut down D-pole version. But that's my first stick. I don't have a name for her right now. Some people like to name their sticks. I personally enjoy naming my sticks. But this one does not have a name. That's the first one. Next we have my Epic Hawk with Barrier 60 waxed mesh from Barrier Lacrosse Company. And this is on a, I want to say walnut wood shaft from Brad Fitzpatrick. He's done a number of wood shafts for a bunch of people that you might know, but he's done quite a few for me just because I love wood shafts. I can destroy anybody with them. Or destroy anything with them. Like people are always like, "Oh, I got this sci-tie shaft, broke it." Doesn't matter to me. I'll use wood shafts. I'm a heavy shaft user, but one of my favorites from him, I mean, all of them are beautiful and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure this is the walnut one. He's sent me quite a few, so, I mean, I've traded with him and whatnot, but yeah. I don't really use much tape, so very barren, but this is one of my more fun setups, just to kind of mess around and crank with. Very light shaft, very nice soft edges, fits in the hand well, fits on the head very easily. It's not gonna be rattle or anything like that. But that's number 2 on the weapons rack. Next up is one of my personal favorites, and a lot of your guys' favorites apparently. I don't really think I'll at least part with this anytime soon, but this is Trench. This is my Warrior no-nas, or snas, before they were called no-nases. I dyed this one up with an Abyss dye. Basically, It's a marbleized style dye that goes from very, very light or rather dark maroon, kind of reddish color, to darkness, just straight up black right at the base. So one of my favorite dyes that I've done, and a lot of people really like this. Some people asked about if I had brought Trench with me to the Lax convention. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna let her walk off with somebody that feels that they're that cool, and she is actually on my Peepo shaft, which was also made by Brad Fitzpatrick, which is Bloodwood, one of the very few Bloodwood shafts out there. Again, one that you might know of is with Joe from Throwing a String, and this thing is a beast. This is probably the heaviest shaft in my possession. And it's wood, and it feels so nice. Like, it's so dense, and it feels like metal. Like, it feels like a steel shaft, almost. And it's just beautiful. By far my favorite. It's got my nickname for my grandfather engraved into it on both sides. So, real happy about that. Never parting with the shaft. Even if I break it at some point in life. I really don't think I will. But if I break it, it's going to be a sad day, but I'll cut it down. I'll cut it off even, put a head on it, and it'll be a fun thing. But that's Trench with the Bloodwood shaft. Next up is, let's see, choices. I will go with another wood shaft one. This is actually one that I'm not going to break in for a while, but I am going to hold on to because sentimental reasons. But it is my Thompson Lacrosse I6 head with the wampum belt sidewalls, purple because, Ravens, but it's also because purple is part of the Iroquois Nation's colors. And then I went with yellow on the leathers and yellow sidewalls, black shooters, and gray shooting nylon. Before I kind of move on, that Trench was strung up with semi-hard barrier lacrosse 6D mesh, but moving back into this is actually a flat traditional. I left a lot of extra string on the ends. I strung it up nice and flat, kind of for display, braided leathers, and so on and so forth. And she's just going to be for display for a while until I feel like breaking her in. But very beautiful head and very well constructed. I don't have any complaints about it. I'm pretty sure I've done a review on it, but let's move on. Next is another wood shaft from Brad Fitzpatrick. This is a very, very, very difficult wood to put into a shaft form, and it is zebra wood. And it, like when you're actually putting it through the machines to kind of make the shaft shape and whatnot, it's very easy to tear. It's kind of porous, I guess you could say. You can actually feel where the wood wanted to kind of pull at itself. This is generally used to make furniture, but he ended up making a really good shaft. Again, really nice soft edges. My hands it just rests in my hands real nice. And again, Brad Fitzpatrick does really, really good work. I hope at some point in life that he ends up making these, like, I guess you could say mainstream, or broadly making them so that everybody can see them. But that's the i6. Next is one that I've done a video of recently, and that is my Under Armour Vital with turtle mesh, or rather Zoo Lacrosse's turtle mesh, which is a traditional pocket, a pre-strung traditional pocket that you install. But I did a video on that already. I wanted to go with a Vital because I wanted an updated Under Armour head. The Vital is probably one of my favorite Under Armour heads, next to the Charge 2, I believe. The Charge 2U. I don't really like high school heads. A lot of my heads are X-Spec. So far, all of them have been X-Spec except for the Proton Plus. But then it is on an Under Armour 1X Sci-Tie Pro, which is one of their new shafts that they have out. $90 for a Sci-Tie. At least at my store location, which is LU Columbia. But $90 for a Sci-Tie? Done. You had me at 90. You didn't have to tell me that it was Sci-Tie or anything like that. But nicely strung, very strong. if I ever continue to play indoor, or probably this is going to be a men's league stick, but very strong construction. One of my favorite heads out right now. I think it'll be popular among the Under Armour users. And shaft, real nice, good shape. It's very similar to the Force Scandium from STX, but not as sharp of edges. But it does have that kind of recessed edges, I guess you could say. You can kind of see how it is a little bit. You can kind of see how it's kind of curved inward on all edges. Very nice. Your fingers wrap right into it. This would probably be a very effective face-off shaft. If not, probably a good goalie shaft. Next up is another, well, this is still called Charisse, but it used to have ECD fire mesh in it, and she is now strung up with ECD 60, just regular 60, not 60 black. I don't know if they offer that right now, but this is regular 60 from East Coast Dyes, and this is a Burn X, a black Burn X. Again, another X spec, and Burn X is pretty much my go-to head right now. It's my modern favorite head right now. I guess you could say my weapon of choice. And it's very sturdy head, very solid, has a nice flex for when you're shooting and passing, and then it just strings up really well. I've never had a problem stringing up this head, especially with the 60. 60 can be kind of weird to string up, but whatever. Again, this is going to be one of my men's league sticks, so if you guys play in the Howard County Men's League, and hopefully I get to play this summer again, you get to see me out in the field with this one. But this is on some bird's eye maple, which is a hard maple wood. This is also done by Brad Fitzpatrick, and this one's actually gotten a bit of use. This last summer I was using it. She's got quite a few little dents on her, and she's probably gotten the most use out of all the wood shafts that I've gotten from Brad Fitzpatrick so far. But she's very, very reliable, nice and light wood. It's not one of those heavy woods where it's just like, oh, I don't want to use this anymore. But no, very light, very durable, and again, one of my favorites that I have. Moving on to the next, and another Burn X. This time it is a dyed one from Rocket Pocket. It actually has an authentic, legit Rocket Pocket in it. I've already done a review on this whole setup, but again, Burn X, one of my favorite heads, strings up perfectly. Again, Rocket Pocket blued out of the water with this pocket, and I hope to coach with this one. It's really fun. It's got a nice clean dye job. It is the Blaze Camo from Rocket Pocket, and then it is on what used to be a graphic Titan Levitation, one of the most expensive short pole shafts on the market. I believe around the time that it came out, I was still in high school, maybe just coming into high school. One of the most expensive short pole shafts ever. The last time I actually looked it up, and at one point when I went to look at shafts, I believe it was over $200 for this short pole. This is actually a goalie length, I believe, cut down, and this one is kind of a nice shorter length. It's barely legal length. It's probably sitting right around the minimum, but again, another one that I'm probably not going to use too much, at least not the shaft, but I'll probably put the head on something in order to tear up some guys. But again, one of my favorites, one that I'm going to try and hold on to for a very long time. Next up is my Burn X. This one, a lot of people actually came up to me and asked me to look at the lacrosse convention, and this is Candy. Candy. She is a very special girl. She's actually named after my grandfather, his name was Candelero. He was Italian, and we called him Grandpa Candy. I know I said something kind of stupid in the last video, but it's whatever. That's who I am. But this head is very near and dear to my heart now because I've named it after him, and it's got a 60 classic trad in it, a single string, stringer shack, cross lace shooter, and sidewall. And this one is I actually did up originally for the Lax Room break-in competition. I haven't posted anything about it in a while, but whatever. I also have live stringing of this that I'm still trying to figure out how to edit and whatnot, but hopefully I can figure that out and get it up. But this is Candy, uh, well broken in. This is one of my most well used heads. I used it during men's league. I'll probably be using it again for men's league and tear it up. Uh, what Candy is on, is a Jewel Lacrosse Punisher shaft. This one is the gunmetal version. They have multiple colors. I've never really liked carbon fiber shafts, and thankfully Jewel has changed my mind, and I'll probably never use another type of carbon fiber shaft. I mean, somebody could change my mind, Epic or whatever, at some point, but as of right now, this is my favorite type of carbon fiber shaft, which is Jewel. And Punisher shaft, I put it to the test and bent a few shafts that are defective and aren't going to be used for anything anymore, and it's just like, okay, she really is a strong SOB. But that's my Candy girl, and she is very sturdy. Next up is one that a lot of people like, and I've been kind of fascinated with, and this is my one of two Jewel Lacrosse Ares heads. God of War is what it's named after, but is the Jewel Lacrosse Ares head with the two stringing sidewall holes with a 6D classic trad 3-piece, as you can see, in different colors and whatnot. And I've already done a review on her, and I haven't given her a name yet, but she is definitely impressing me every day that I'm messing with her. And I mean, I've already been impressed stringing wise. I'm getting even more and more impressed performance wise. And she is on a limited edition Gimalax Jewel Lacrosse Gimalev shaft. And again, Jewel is impressing me. I didn't really like one of their prototypes, and they improved their grip on it. So I'm a huge fan of these shafts. They're gonna change. They're gonna change a lot in a lacrosse world, and if only people would stop being a little ignorant to the fact that, hey, it's a little different, but it's good competition and it's innovation. So don't knock them just because, oh, it's not like anything I've ever used before. Just cut that out of your thought process and you'll be okay. But so that's my Jewel Lacrosse stick, if you will. And then last but not least of my weapons rack, I'll have a little bit of a explanation in a second. But the last in my weapons rack is my POW MIA dyed Evo TI from Grunt Lacrosse. He did this more or less as a favor. I didn't pay for it. I didn't expect to have this dye done to this head, and I am eternally thankful to Gary for doing this. And I plan to use this at the shootout for soldiers. I am going to have it on a Ripwood Lacrosse wooden shaft. This is nice PA ash, and it is a red, white, and blue Ripwood shaft to go with the POW head. I might end up switching out the mesh for USA themed money mesh, but right now it's just black money mesh, and just kind of try and stick to the whole color of the head thing and just have the shaft be the focus of color. So I'm going to be using this for the shootout for soldiers and probably nothing else ever. It'll be only shootout for soldier worthy, if not something maybe an alumni game or something like that. But otherwise, be on the lookout for me on the field with this. But so that is my weapons rack. I do have a couple other shafts and sticks. I do have another wood shaft from Brad Fitzpatrick, and it is a purple heartwood, which is from Africa. And I really haven't decided on a head to really keep on that. It might be the other Aries that I have in my possession. Who knows? I haven't really decided. I just can't decide at this moment. But hopefully it turns out for the best and I can choose something with that. And then I have a couple other little things that I'm just kind of holding on to for the moment. But I'm going to end up getting rid of them at some point. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really liked showing you guys what it is that I use and just kind of showing you the diversity of what a player or a coach or anything like that can use. You don't have to use one type of thing all the time. I use all these things for different variations, different uses, and so on and so forth. So hopefully that variety has kind of opened your guys' eyes, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. So like, comment, subscribe, share this video, talk about it with your friends, leave questions, whatever you guys want. I'll catch you later.